I'm Richard Clarke. I record these talks every day as a way to deepen my inquiry. Listen each day and deepen your own practice. Welcome. I'm reviewing and commenting on the book Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. Today is from Talk 349, Part 3. Continuing with Sri Ramana Maharshi's preface to his translation of Sri Shankara's Viveka-Chudamani, or Crown Gem of Discrimination. The three paths. The three bodies, physical, subtle, and causal, are non-self and are unreal. The self, or I, is quite different from them. It is due to ignorance that the sense of the self, or the I notion, is foisted on that which is not self, and this indeed is bondage. Since from ignorance arises bondage, from knowledge ensues liberation. To know this from the Guru is Shravana. To reject the three bodies consisting of the five sheaths, physical, vital, mental, gnostic, and blissful, as not I, and to extract through subtle inquiry of who am I, even as the central blade of grass is delicately drawn out from its whorl, that which is different from all the three bodies and is existent as one and universal in the heart as Aham, or I, and denoted by the word Tat-tvam in the spiritual dictum Tat-tvam-asi, that thou art. The process of subtle inquiry is manana, or deep contemplation. In Ramana Maharshi's preface to his translation of Sri Shankara's Viveka-Chudamani, Shankara discusses the distinction between the self, Atman, and the non-self, the three bodies, physical, subtle, and causal, as well as the path to liberation, moksha, through self-inquiry. Shankara explains that the three bodies, physical, subtle, and causal, are not the self. They are transient and considered unreal. They are mistakenly identified with due to ignorance, not knowing your true nature. This false identification is samsara and leads to bondage. Liberation, moksha, on the other hand, arises from true knowledge, experiential knowledge, self-knowledge, vidya, which distinguishes the self from the non-self. Shankara emphasizes the role of a spiritual teacher in imparting this understanding through their teachings. Through listening, shravana, and learning, manana, you come to grasp the distinction between the eternal self and the impermanent bodies. It's easy. The one is always there. The other comes and goes. If you can't listen to a living guru, then read the words that were left behind. The guru leads you past the grip of the ego. Without the teacher, it is the ego trying to get past the ego. Shankara, like the Maharshi, advocates the practice of self-inquiry, the internal investigation of identity, asking, "Who am I?" to negate identification with the three bodies and realize the true nature of the self. This process involves deep contemplation, manana, where one subtly extracts the essence of the self, akin to delicately drawing out one blade of grass from its whorl. Manana is for the mind. I think what can happen is the mind gets satisfied and so will quiet and stop reaching out for answers. When the mind stops its incessant reaching out, then you can plunge into yourself. By contemplating and investigating the I or the self, you realize the self's universal existence and its distinction from the transient three bodies. This is the realization of Tat-tvam-asi, thou art that, knowing the identity of the individual self, yourself, with the universal self, Brahman. Sri Shankara and Ramana Maharshi teach that liberation from ignorance-driven bondage comes through knowledge of the distinction between the self and the non-self, guided by a guru's teachings. Self-inquiry and deep contemplation lead to the realization of your true nature as the universal self, ultimately bringing liberation, moksha. This is freedom from the idea of birth and death. This profound knowledge brings eternal bliss and freedom. So, inquire, know yourself, and be always free and at peace. The book, Who Am I with Comments, is my take on these early teachings of Ramana Maharshi. It's available on Amazon, free to Kindle subscribers. A link is in the video notes. These videos bring Ramana's teachings into your direct experience. Click subscribe to see more. Click thumbs up to like, and send questions and start a dialogue with a comment.